Hi everyone, Michele Courage here again. This is the Raise Your Vibe podcast, Raise Your Vibe with Michele, or you may be watching this on YouTube. And I am so excited today to introduce you to a very special lady called Christina Richter. She is an astrologer, a medical astrologer. I have asked her so many times to help me out with direction, and I met her at a fair in Lower Hutt, I think. So yep. Welcome so much. I'm so happy to have you here, Christina.
Thank you, Michele. I feel very privileged to be invited to attend your YouTube podcast.
Oh, thank you. Right, well, I'm going to jump straight in. This is Christina's latest book, Your Astrological Health. And it's a guide for daily living. And man, I don't know where to start, because honestly, it's so you do such amazing work. And I mean, this whole podcast is all about raise your vibration. And to me, that means anything that I can do to raise my vibration, to raise my awareness, to be sort of learning all the time. And you were just telling me that you just going through a new learning process as well. So yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I think I'll tell you a little bit about myself so you can kind of understand the lead in to where I'm going to go with what I was going to tell you about just a minute ago.
Okay, awesome.
I was a nurse. I was a nurse for 35 years, and I traveled. I practiced primarily in intensive care, but it was interesting. It was while I was in nursing, I came across holistic health. So, and it was actually something that was on a notice board. It was said, come to learn about wound management. And there was a section at the end about energetic healing and aromatherapy, which twigged me.
Yes.
So I went to the 2-day workshop, and then at the end of it, the most stimulating time for me was when they were talking about the aromatherapy and how lavender was accidentally found to treat burns by a scientist who was in a lab who had actually burnt his arm, and the only thing available to cool the arm down at the time in his lab was a thing of lavender.
Yes.
And he put his arm in the lavender, and he didn't come up with the 2nd or 3rd degree burns. It was just real. It was really quite an amazing story. And that kind of got me thinking. And of course, during this process, I always seemed to get the patients that came in with their Bach flowers or with their amethyst or with something or with their worry
to support them through their healing.
Yeah. And it was funny, like I would happened to see it, and it was almost like the patients felt like they were caught out with their hand in the cookie jar, as if to say, oh, I shouldn't have brought this in here because we're in a hospital and we are doing orthodox medicine. Yes. And I always said to them, if this is what you need to feel secure, then that's all good. And I'm not a judgmental person anyway, but it kind of twigged me to believe that people put their faith in health in many different aspects. And when I studied Ayurveda in India, which is something else I did, one of the things I got taught was the mind of the person who is unwell is very important. If they have a belief in something, then that needed to be supported and not criticized.
Yes.
So I was getting all these little things happening to me, and as I said, I embarked on a journey with Ayurveda, which started with helping a friend of mine in India come off heroin.
Oh wow!
And they came off heroin.
You have lived a very wild, interesting life, haven't you?
Well, it's
as all star seeds and way showers do.
Well, I feel everyone's been born with a gift.
Yes.
And sometimes in order to get to that gift, you have to go through adversity.
Absolutely. And most of your adversity is where your gift lies so that you can help to teach people.
Yeah. So I was a sickly child, and I worked out why all of that was about. And then I've had about 5 incidences where people have said to me, I've needed to have major surgery.
Yes.
And each time I've said no. And I've gone down the holistic path to try to sort myself out, which I have done,
Yes.
although I am not au fait to surgery, because
yes.
orthodox medicine, doctors, antibiotics, if you have an infection, surgery, all these things can be quite important.
I agree. There's a point where you have to get to, and
there is a place.
You know, these things have all been invented or found through the need to help us heal.
Yeah. And so I have no problem with that. But my last one, I was diagnosed with secondary hyperparathyroidism. And my doctor said to me, well, the only cure is to have your parathyroid out. And for those who don't know, the parathyroid sits on top of the thyroid gland. So for many years, they were testing my thyroid and it was fine. Yes. But it was my parathyroid that was abnormal, which didn't show in a normal.
Yes, because I know in your book, test. Yeah, because I know in your book, in my side, I think with a Taurus, I have to keep an eye on that as well.
Yes, you do.
So
and I always say,
I mean, it's incredible what Christina says is about what things support. Like there's crystals, there's color, there's Bach flowers, there's chakra, all these things for your star sign, which I found amazing. I mean, how wonderful is that? And, you know, I mean, you're just incredible. Sorry, might as well.
That's okay. So my doctor, I went to a holistic doctor. He was the only one here in the Bay. And I made it very clear to him that I've always used the natural approach where possible. Yes. But I am very much aware of disease and disease processes. I nursed for 35 years. I've studied Eastern medicine, so I'm very much aware. And what I just said to him, if I can do this naturally, I will. So I did a deal with him for 6 months. I said, if I can't get my levels down, I'll have the surgery.
Yes.
So what happened?
You got them down.
I got my levels down.
Well, you know, that's the thing. I think we rely on the quick, easy fix for everything in this, you know, at the moment on Earth. And I really think that the slower approach shifts the whole, like you say, the idea of where we're going. It shifts. And it is possible to change your body with, like you say, thoughts, beliefs, and using the Earth's remedies to assist us.
But the main healer is time. And the problem with mankind, I should write this as a poem. The main healer, sorry, I can't
no, look.
As an author, I kind of get ideas every once in a while and I go, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I really should write that down.
Write it down. Oh, well, we're recording this, so it's cool. You can listen to it.
But as I was saying, the main healer is time. And the main problem with mankind is that they're impatient.
Yes. And we also are not making time for healing. You know, I think I've been called to go much more into hermit mode, basically since the beginning of October, and it's 2020, October now. And I'm really feeling, you know, well, it's November now, but it was October when I thought about it. And I just had this real push to go quiet and slow. And I mean, I call it hermit mode. And yeah, I think your greatest insights come when there's quietness in your life.
Stillness. Yes, very much so. And that's why a lot of people advocate things like yoga because of the breath, the Tibetans, the meditation, the salute to the sun. These are all things.
But the Westerners take it and go make it exercise. And it's like, actually, true yoga, not so much exercise.
In the olden days, you know, we didn't have all these extended facilities. And they knew that treating people from the earth, which was a supply in abundance, and I believe it still is today,
yes.
And also stillness, because the more energy you exert, the less energy the body has to heal.
Yes.
Number one.
That's why sleep is so important as well.
Yes, that's and that is a big thing. And in my first book, Learn to Self-Heal, which is more of a holistic reference.
Yeah, I love that book. I love it.
I've got a small section in there about how sleep, and if you do suffer with insomnia, sleep is governed by the brain. it's not governed by when you're tired to go to bed. And we heal between the hours of 2 and 4. So if you can't get into a sleep rhythm by then you have your ability to heal
diminished.
is actually thwarted. It's not happening. And what I was going to say before I forget, and I think you said this was going to go for about 40 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. I just wanted to keep an eye on the time. Illness doesn't happen overnight.
No.
But people expect remedies to happen overnight.
Yes.
And that's not congruent.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I look at my own journey from a health point of view. I mean, especially because I'm Taurus, you know, and I've got a whole bunch of Taurian traits, very much so. I love food. I've come onto this earth absolutely enjoying whatever bountiful Mother Nature can give us. And it's a long, slow process to where I've got to the fact that my weight is a bit of an issue and I'm not exercising as much because and I make excuses. There's no excuses, but you know, the weather for me has a big influence over my ability to get outside and go and walk, and I'm not a gym orientated person.
Me neither.
So for me, it's been definitely, I've watched myself in the last 10, 11 years since I've come to New Zealand go into not a very healthy sort of pattern. And with Taurus, you know, we don't like doctors. We don't go anywhere near doctors. So, well, in general. And so, yeah, they become chronic. And it's now got to say, well, now I've got to go, oh my goodness, I better do something. You know,
and that's the thing. That's the thing about the Taurus energy, or a lot of, especially Taurus among the fixed signs in astrology. It's because they don't go to the doctor. By the time something does come around, it is actually quite chronic and quite deep-rooted. So they actually need quite intensive therapies to actually get things moving. And then they need to stick to what they want.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it is movement. Because, you know, the bull likes sitting under the tree with his back to everyone, kind of doing his own thing.
But the ironic thing is with a Taurus is, even though they don't like exercise, once they get into that flow of regular movement, they've got the endurance to actually do marathons.
Just keep going. Yes.
Because they've got that kind of energy. You know, that ad for the what is it, the AA battery, you know, the rabbit that lasts and lasts and lasts.
Exactly. As long as it's a slow pace, it's fine. I mean, my spirit animal is elephant, and there's a lot of similar traits that I see, you know, going long distance, but at a slow pace. I'm fine with that. I'll just keep going. And I mean, with your book, I had a look at the Leo, because my husband's a Leo, my daughter's Scorpio, and there was so much that I sort of, you know, besides the Leo traits, you've got here in for Leo, minimize stress as this increases heart rate, magnesium to be taken at night. There's so many beautiful, Leos do well outdoors and exposed to plenty of sunshine. I mean, I can carry on. There's just such amazing insights of the chakras and herbs to be taken. Like Leos should be taking digitalis, which strengthens the heart muscle, dill, fennel, mint, parsley, saffron. It's just incredible. And your nutrition, where Leo rules strength, vitality, heart, and the common ailments, beneficial foods. You've just done an amazing job with this book. So I think it's incredible.
The feedback I've gotten about this book has been very promising. It's only been out since September.
Yes.
And it actually did make the top 100 on Amazon a few weeks ago. And as you know, that the stats on Amazon vary every day. I think at the moment it's in the top 300, but still.
Wow. And is that the best way? Is that the best way to get hold of the book?
Yes.
Through Amazon.
Amazon is the best way. If you're in Australia, you can go to White Light Publishing and get it that way. If you're in New Zealand, you can actually drop me a line on
Yes.
crscorpio1111@gmail.com,
Yes.
or you can access me on my webpage, which is www.christinarichter, that's RICHTER, author.com, or my Facebook page, astroplus.co.nz.
Yeah,
so there's a few ways there that you can get hold of me. And but the best way is to get it on Amazon. They're both on Amazon. As I said, it's the difference between the two. There is a little bit of overlap, but the main difference is this is more of a resource book.
The self-heal book.
They learn to self-heal. So I do talk about a bit about medical astrology, but it's only a few pages compared to your
astrological health one. Yes.
And I also talk about Ayurveda. And I do simple Ayurveda that can be related for everybody. And there's vegetarian recipes in there as well, which is beautiful. I talk about in section 3 of Learn to Self-Heal, I talk about the spiritual health aspect. Now, all I do there is I talk about the auras and the chakras and the various levels and how it links to our physical body. Because I raise my vibration by making sure that I have self-care every month, and I actually book that in.
Yes.
So what I do is I go and have a healing every month. This woman that I have she's a very wonderful woman. And what that does is it balance. I mean, I can do it myself because I'm also a healer.
Yes.
But because I give so much out to my clients, to my students,
you need to bring in more.
It's about receiving. And it really is about the balance, and you don't have to do it all.
And I think from a medical receiving as well. Yeah, and I think from a medical point of view, I'm always very aware of the fact that if you don't learn to receive, there is a chance you may start getting a dis-ease in your body where you will need to have receiving.
That's what happened to a client of mine.
Receive, which to me scares the heck out of me. So.
Well, this is what happens. Everything in life is in astrology. You've got your polarities. In life, you've got your light and night and day, your male and female, your yin and yang. Everything is polarity. So if you are a giver, doesn't matter what you do.
Yes.
If you are a giver and you are not allowing yourself to receive, then what happens is the universe will step in and say, you need some time out. And if you're not going to take it, we will make it that you will take it.
Exactly. We'll force you to do that. And that, I think, for me, from a medical point of view, I'm very aware of. I really don't want to get my body into that position where it's forcing me to be, I want to make sure that I raise my vibration while looking after this beautiful meat suit, as I call it, as I've coined it from old Phil Good. I want to look after the suit that I've got because, this is the vehicle that I've asked for and learning from as well, because, I was always very tall, thankfully very healthy. It's a beautiful meat suit. It may be a little bit robust and larger than life and bigger than most, but it's a very, very great meat suit that I've got. And, as you get older, you start being much more aware of your health. So, which is ironic. It's like servicing the car once it's got 150,000 Ks on the clock.
Well, we look after most people look after their cars much better than they look after their bodies.
They do.
But what I say to people is, as I was saying to you before, everything is duality. We have a physical body and we have a spiritual body.
Yes.
And they are not separate. Mm. When I talk about this in my chapter 3, I talk about how the spiritual and the physical are infused. And I talk about how the spiritual body is the first level of defense when it comes to illness. People think it's the immune system, which is not wrong. Mm-hmm. But we actually get sick from the outside in and not from the inside
It's drawing
out.
all and not clearing the energies and shifting and unhooking those energies that hook into us, that pull our vibration lower. So the higher your vibration, the more immune you're going to be. And the other thing I wanted to quickly touch on was the fact that I have asked you, and you do, and I don't know if you're still offering them, these one question.
Oh, yes. On Wednesdays, next Wednesday, the 11th of November, I am absolutely booked out. But on the following, every Wednesday in New Zealand, I offer half-hour sessions for $40.
Yes, so it would be a Thursday probably or Tuesday. Yeah, it would be a Tuesday in the US, or, you know, if you're watching from.
And that's fine. I just make it so it fits in with the time frame, because I do a lot of clients overseas.
Yes.
And I'm often up at night talking to people and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So basically that is, you just give me your birth details, you give me your question, and it covers, like if you want to know about, your health and your finances.
Well, it's like me. I mean,
I can't do that.
Yes.
It's a very simple snapshot of what's going on.
Yes.
And I'm the kind of person, I come from a very strong psychological background as well. And so I always, because I know when people come to me, they're looking for answers.
Yes, because
coming to me, they're looking for tools, what to do.
Yes.
So I am very proactive in giving recommendations on how they can make their life better.
Yes. And I mean, for me, I because you've done my star chart and all this, the rest, it's easier for me to ask the specific questions. You can always have a look at my star chart. I highly recommend doing that. It is an amazing session. It's recorded. It's incredible. But these one questions are, I mean, I asked you, where's the most probable place that I'm going to do really well from a business point of view, career point of view in New Zealand? Where is the best place for me and my husband to actually settle when, we want to buy a new house, or if we want to move? I mean, these things for me are just, those are everyday questions that I would really appreciate a little bit of insight. And using my intuition, once you've given me an answer, you know what, then I weigh it up and I, work it out that actually that's probably going to be a better area for me, So that I found fascinating, that aspect of astrology, that you are able to.
For example, when I answer a question like that, where in the world, or where in what city, blah, 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 I use something called astrolocality. So when astrolocality is something where you place your birth chart anywhere in the world. So if you want to know where to move to, where it's good for your business, where do you want to be, where you're going to be inspired, where it'd be good for you to buy a house.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you did that for me, it came up because I asked you about Australia because we're in New Zealand, and you said Melbourne is a fabulous place for me to actually sell to whatever, but you said that Brisbane, that area, Sunshine Coast, was very good for opportunity. So that I found fascinating. It was brilliant to hear that and know which cities in Australia that I should actually, if I wanted to target those cities, those are the cities that I should put more effort into, instead of just throwing it out to the whole of Australia.
And that's what I say to people. You can really streamline your focus. So that's one thing. And of course, you're living here, but if you were to make contacts in Melbourne, and the other thing you can do is raise your vibration. You can ask the universe to bring in the contacts from Brisbane and Melbourne to support your business, because these areas will do well.
Exactly.
So you can raise your vibration by asking that energy to come into your space.
Yeah, I remember I asked you about New Zealand, and it was a definite banded area in New Zealand where I was going to thrive. And when I've run any sort of, I know I've done some I want to say retreats, but it's not a retreat. When you have like a fair or a show, and I've done them in Taupo. Wow, I mean, that was it was so fulfilling for me, and financially viable. So yeah, there's truth to this. It's not just, whatever. It definitely, I've seen proof of it. It really works. So Christina, I think we're kind of, if you're okay, is there anything else that you'd like to touch on? I know you've got this amazing little book as well.
Oh, yes.
Your third book, which is just so beautiful. I think I'm going to open a page and just see what happens.
That book is called My Father's Philosophy. My father passed, rest in peace, about 3 years ago. And I thought I'd do a little book based on his quotes and how he viewed life. Unknown to me growing up, I kind of had a choice between strict religion and spirit and kind of spirituality, although my father never called it that. He kind of called it philosophy. And I kind of have gone down the road of his wisdoms. So that book is just, and it's a book for men. And I have found that the book has, that I've given that to men have really connected with it.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing little Christmas gift, isn't it?
It is. And you can get that on Amazon as well.
Yes, it's called My Father's Philosophy.
Yeah, it's just a little thing that you just open up for the day. You just clear your mind. You ask for the intention for the day and you open up. And when you read let's do this.
Well, I've got a page here.
What does Dad say for today?
So there's two. So there's one on each side, but I'm going to read the first one. You can fool yourself and others, but the man upstairs will always know.
Oh, that's so true.
It's just such great little book for a little bit of wisdom, which I thought was wonderful.
I can just hear my dad saying,
having a chuckle.
He's sitting in his chair, he's laid back with the feet up, and you can fool yourself, you can fool others, but he knows what's going on.
Absolutely, Spirit knows exactly what's going on. So
and even though my dad wasn't a church goer, he was Lutheran, but he wasn't a church goer like his wife was.
Yes.
He had this belief in an almighty something that was bigger than himself.
Absolutely, yes. And I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. There's a source. You can call it source, God, whatever you call it. There's a higher power. And you can fool yourself and others, but the man upstairs will always know. It's a classic.
Yep.
So
in other words, he's saying there's no point lying.
No. Well, the thing is, I just feel that integrity is going to become the new, it's really important, because as the veil is thinning, we're starting to be able to read people so much quicker and easier. And, I honestly now, it's an instant. I either resonate or I don't resonate. And for me, that people are going to become much more in tune with that as the veil thins and everybody awakens more and more. And you're not going to be able to hide and come in with insincere anything.
And the other thing, as you were talking about the thinning of the veil, people are also going to become not only more perceptive, but they're also going to become more sensitive. Yes. And I'm talking about body sensitive.
Yes.
Which is why going down the natural route,
yes, for the
as
medical,
much as you can, is going to be the thing that works better.
Well, it's one of the reasons I popped in and said hello to you, because, when I wasn't up in Hawke's Bay recently, is because I'm struggling because I can't take normal pills. Don't work for me. My body reacts against it. And it's going to become more and more common that your body just doesn't react well to synthetic drugs.
No. And that's, and when you think about it, our genetics, you can take it back to the day of Adam and Eve, if you like. We didn't have pharmaceutical doctors. We didn't have pharmaceutical companies.
We had herbalists.
Through stillness, through love, through good water, good food, and the earth. And that's how we healed.
And community, I think it was Jamie Oliver that did this whole cooking program, and he was checking out who lived the longest in the world. He was looking at different communities, and the communities that ate together, that looked after one another and ate properly and had stillness and had daily working with the land, were the ones that were living the longest. Because they were grounded, number one, they were eating properly, mainly vegetables, because they weren't just consuming for the sake of consuming. And they ate together, so they had joy and laughter and support.
There was no indulgence.
Exactly.
It was purely, as much as you needed.
And a wide variety of food.
Not to excess. So that's what I like about this book. Chapter 4 has also got, it explains
and
a
that's
whole
the
lot of,
self-heal book.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
It talks about a lot of modalities in the Ayurvedic section. You can have a look at, I've got in here how to treat depression naturally, also how to sort out your digestion, which I feel is a big one for a lot of people.
Massive.
In Ayurveda, they say immunity starts in your digestion, and 80% of our digestion is related to the immune response. So in here, I've got a big section on digestion. There is a section on
learn to self-heal.
There's a bit of a test in there on, are you unwell? Do you wake up tired in the morning, even though you've slept for 8 hours?
Yes.
Are you having constipation? There's a whole lot of questions in here that indicate blockages in the body, which will, in time, will be
become disease
as a disease or an illness. And the other thing I like about doing the astrology is astrology is a very specific science. It is to that person. If I've got that person's time of birth, there's nothing I can't find in the chart.
Yes.
I know that sounds amazing, but you are not just one chart. As a practitioner, I look at 6 different charts when I'm looking to find something.
Yes.
And medical astrology in itself is it's like being a doctor. You start off with an internship, then you become a doctor, and you might go to become a GP or a specialist or whatever. This is the same. I started off just doing normal astrology, then I went into financial, I went into psychological, I went into spiritual, and then I fell into medical astrology, and to me, and I went and I studied it religiously, and it just felt right to me. And with my background in medicine and Eastern medicine, I kind of feel I understand a lot when people come to me about their conditions.
Yes.
I understand about their medications. And I always say to them, never come off your medications. Your aim is to improve your health through daily positive habits, which take time.
Yes, absolutely. You
and
can't just stop things. Yeah.
No, the moment you stop something, your body has become used to, your body will go into crisis, and then you can have a relapse.
Yes. So yeah, I highly recommend Christina Richter. Like I said, astroplus.co.nz on Facebook.
.co.nz.
Yeah, that's on Facebook. Your actual website is Christina with Richter. A CH. Yeah, so
Christina Richter author.com.
Yeah, author.com, and honestly, highly recommend it.
You can get these both. You can get these both books on Kindle.
Oh, as well. So that's fabulous.
As well.
Yes.
So if you're one of these people who likes to hold a book like I do, then yeah, fantastic.
Yes, I know I've got the self-heal book on Kindle, on my Kindle.
Yeah.
Because I lent it to someone, the actual book, and I can't remember who, and they haven't.
And you never got it back?
So I thought, oh, well, I'm going to just get it on Kindle, then no one could get it.
Well, but and what I like about the Kindle is that, and because it is a bit of a research book, you can just go to the content.
It's easily accessible. Yeah, when you're on holiday and you've got the time to read, you can read about it, and so Christina, I want to thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast, Raise Your Vibe with Michele. I'm hoping that we're going to do some more of these. It's going to be incredible.
Oh, we will.
Maybe we can kind of concentrate on maybe 1 or 2 star signs next time or something like that. I don't know.
Hey, I'm quite happy to do a little series.
Yeah.
So we can do that if you like.
Fabulous. So thank you so much. And I will sign off now, and we can hopefully go and have a look and see and get yourself a copy of this, Your Astrological Health, at least. And the other one is even better, from a background point of view and more learning. So, and as always, raise your vibe. as much as you can by learning and absorbing information.
And of course, if your energetic body is healthy, because we are a symbiotic species, then your physical body is healthy.
Yes.
But
yes.
as I said, it is daily practice that will bring you health.
Yes, yes.
It's
not an overnight thing.
If you want a quick fix, just go and pop a pill from the pharmaceutical company. Your liver is not going to like it. Your liver is going to start to play up.
Yes.
And if your liver plays up, and it's the liver that brings all the nutrients to the rest of your body.
Yes, yes.
So if your digestion and liver are not in harmony, because they work together on a loop, and so if they're not in good condition, the rest of your body is not going to be working well.
Yes.
So if you are out there, if you've got any kind of digestive issue, just know that's going to be affecting your liver, and long term there'll be a problem.
Yes.
Which will also mean that your body, that needs all that powerful vitamin C and vitamin B and everything else that you get from your foods and supplements, is not being absorbed and taken into your body.
Yes. Well, that's what I found. I found a lot of my my uptake is not that great. So whenever I have something that's soluble, like a vitamin C that's soluble, I can then feel the difference. So I've kind of started switching to the more soluble vitamins, just so that I can support my body in a better way. And it's just learning that and feeling that out and listening to your body. So
and that is a great tip. Anybody with digestive issues, they should be staying away from foods that take a long time to digest.
Yes.
And when it comes to supplements, if you're on supplements, which I do advocate, because I don't believe in this day and age of pollution,
getting everything,
that we get everything we need from our fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
You've got to be careful of the supplement that you take. If you can take it in a fluid form, then at least you have a chance of a greater portion of that getting absorbed.
Being absorbed, yes.
Whereas if it's in a tablet form, the moment it hits the stomach, whatever.
Well, as a Taurus, as a Taurus, I need a lot of vitamin B. And I felt the soluble vitamin Bs work much better for me, and the vitamin C, which I think as a intuitive healer, a vitamin C is one of the go-tos that we need to be sort of really assisting our body with. So among many.
And if I can just add, in the old days when we had scurvy, vitamin C was the cure.
Yes.
The new vitamin C of this millennium is vitamin D.
Yes, yes. I take 2 tablets of that every day to
many conditions.
My system.
Many conditions, including autism in children, is related to a lack of vitamin D.
Yeah. I know. I'm my 3 go-tos is vitamin D, vitamin C, and the Bs. Very indicated for my star sign through your book, but it really, I feel the difference when I take it. But they're all soluble.
And I'll just, before we close, I just want to say a little bit about COVID. I did do a talk about this a few months ago, but the thing to keep yourself healthy through COVID is high dose vitamin C.
Yes.
Zinc that you take with meals.
Yes.
After meals. And vitamin D that you take after meals as well, because you need the food to absorb it. So that is the combo to keep yourself healthy through COVID. Stay away from Brufen, because it's been shown to actually, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not exacerbated, but it doesn't help. And it's more damaging than effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
absolutely. I think most of my friends are all taking the vitamin C seriously, the vitamin D seriously, and because it is really, it's about keeping your vibration high, and that is just supporting your body so much in that vibration. So,
I totally agree.
Yeah. So on that note, thanks so much, Christina. I really appreciate it.
Namaste, Michele. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Okay. And I will chat to you again soon.
Okay. Thank you, Dal.